Good morning, beloveds. I'm pulling the cat's tail and the camera collapsed. Oh, yeah, you can see Geo in the background. That's the cat's tail I was pulling. Come here. Come on. They're very distracting. Okay, so we are finishing up the divine guidance principle, I think is what we are in. Today we are tackling lifting the load. I would like to lift the load of the repair guy was just here, which is why I'm running late. The washer's dead. Not dead, but it's unrepairable because it's so old that he can't find parts for it. Yay. And to replace the gasket on the fridge would cost more than the fridge is probably worth. Yep. So we may be appliance shopping this weekend. All right, so let's do that. That's just what's going on in my world this morning. We're doing living the science of mind. So let's do the housekeeping. All that is me reminding you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. The website is creativelife.org. The constant contact email, info@creativelife.org. That gets you one email a week, tells you what's going on for the week and the month, and the hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it means it. And the other thing about it is a blind CC, which means that nobody's going to see your emails. You won't end up on anybody else's email list because of us. So hopefully you will think that is worth it. Now, the last thing I want to mention is the social medias, simply because we're doing this on the social medias. We don't monetize the social medias. We don't ask you to give us money through them. We don't ask you to give them money. We don't give them money. We don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. So instead, what we ask you to do is to like, subscribe, follow based on which platform you're on. If you allow notifications, that will let you know when we go live or upload new videos, if you're interested in that. And then engage with the individual posts. React to the post, comment on the post, share the posts. That bumps us in the algorithms. More people see our stuff. So thank you. We appreciate it. All right. So I call this the FAQ. Frequently asked questions. The reason why, because that's my pet theory. Basically, I think people would read the textbook and then they would listen to the lectures and then they would have questions. And I bet that they went to Ernest and asked him the questions so he would write answers, which ended up becoming an at-home course. Okay. Why am I mentioning this? Because basically it used to be in the back of the Science of Mind magazine, which I think is really fascinating. And you could mail off for it and then they would mail you a lesson a week for 48 weeks. That's where all of these essays, except two, and they don't tell you which two, came from. So what you do instead is what you can do if you're interested in that course. I believe it's called Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. Go to the Science of Mind website, Science of Mind Archives website, and go to their book list of books that you can purchase and use their Amazon link. Yes, it's going to come from Amazon, but at least if you use the Science of Mind Archives website, the archives will get some of the money. So, all right, that's that. But it's a great book. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. So, frequently asked questions. All right. Sorry, Geo's was in the room and still distracting me, or I was allowing myself to be distracted. He was not doing it on purpose. He's a kitten. It's what he does. I can't help it if I have two of the cutest kittens in the world. All right. So let's do lifting the load. All right. This is definitely the third section in that, the principle of divine guidance. So, all right, lifting the load. The burden of life arises from the belief that we have neither the power nor the intelligence to solve our problems. But if we realize that our partner, the law, makes things of itself by itself, becoming the thing it makes, we shall know that no matter what undesirable facts may be manifesting themselves in our present experience, the law can dissolve them for us. We transfer the problem into the divine ideal. Okay? If anyone should ask how the divine intelligence is going to recognize our small problem, our answer would be that the divine works through the universal law of cause and effect. Whoever specializes this law will find that they can transfer the burden of personal responsibility to the law, and that the law will work for them as an individual on the pattern of their thought, just as it works in the rest of the cosmos. It does not do this because it likes one person better than another, but because it is its nature to do so. All right. I think what's important in that is the pattern of their thought. It's one of the reasons why it's really important to be aware of your patterns of thought. I mean, if you're constantly, negating things, and you wonder why things are constantly negating in your thoughts, and you wonder why things are constantly negating around you, it's like when you say you can't do something, you're right. Because the universe is going to take you at your word. Again, we must remember that the law knows neither big nor little. I don't have cats or anything. It knows only to do. Because the word sets the law in motion, and because we can speak the word, we know we can use the law. For as universal as this law is, it is also particularized through us. It specializes itself at our request and flows through our thought into performance. If we believe that it will, then it will. In making practical use of this, we must realize that our word is law. Hence, our word of expansion means expansion, and our word of contraction means contraction. If we use the law as limitation, it is not the fault of the law. It is the way in which we have used it. If we get a clear idea of how the law of cause and effect works, we shall see that our word specializes the law in a unique and individual way, in a personal manner. We transfer the burden, passing it over, as it were, to the law governing our divine partnership, and we rely upon divine guidance to speak the right word into law. The word of trust executes itself. Our acknowledgement of good becomes the good which we acknowledge. I think he's talking in circles right now. We are told that the word of God is faithful and true. Paul speaks of the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, or we may think of the word as protection. Spirit's truth shall be thy shield and buckler. The word of truth is based upon the changeless principle of reality. We are told in Psalm 33:6, by the word of the Lord were the heavens made. This means the passing of the word through action into form. Naturally, then, we transfer the burden of individual responsibility into the law of right action. We start with the proposition of the word, that the word is the power back of the thing, that words actually produce conditions, and that the law flows from the word, and if the law flows from the word, and if the divine guidance compels us to speak the right word, and if our divine partnership can never be dissolved, then surely the load of life is lifted, and we may pursue our way in quietness and confidence. I think that's really important. It's like we pursue our way. However, we must always be sure that this word is in harmony with the eternal reality. For when we transfer our burden into the law, we are setting cause and effect in motion. If we wish to experience only that which is good, our use of the law must be good. But this is another way of saying the universe is foolproof. Hey, Asterix. Hey, baby. Come on out. Come on out. Yeah, there you go, baby. Okay. I'm not sure about the universe being foolproof. Using the law is foolproof, because if you use it foolishly, then you will end up with foolish, So, yeah. Okay. Asterix, it's okay, baby. But how are we to know when we are speaking the word of God? There is only one way of knowing. Is our word harmonious? If we are sure there is nothing in it which has an element of hurt, hate, fear, limitation, or destruction of any nature, then it is self-evident that we are speaking the word of God, and we may rest in absolute reliance upon the outcome. That's one of the reasons why I said, do you want to know if it's from you, if it's from you, or if it's from God or from ego? Who does it help? Who does it hurt? If it hurts one person, it's ego. If it helps one person but doesn't hurt anybody, it can still be from God. Okay? That's the biggest thing. And whatever you want, you got to want for everybody. So even if it only helps you, that still helps everybody, because anything that's good for you is going to be good for everybody. So you see what I mean? Oh, goodness. Sorry. I forgot I had my phone in here. Yep. Okay. The more we study the nature of these principles, the more convinced we are that they are true, that they are the statements of the great law of cause and effect, which the illumined of the ages have proclaimed. They are not true because the illumined have announced them, but because they are true. The spiritually minded have perceived them. And thus, our divine partnership with its divine guidance transfers the burdens and lifts the load of life. Our part is to plant the right seed. To know that the law flows from the word, to know that the word is the starting point of every creation, to know that ideas are things, to know that the entire physical universe is a thing of thought. And when we have transferred the burden into the law, and when we have consigned our own soul to peace, we shall have a new interest and a fresh outlook. For we shall be entering into the spirit of life, into the livingness of life, and into the joy of that livingness. In our individual world, we have the power and the knowledge to create these individual experiences which make life worthwhile. And there is no limit to the evolution of these experiences. Yeah, see, that's an important line right there. There is no limit to the evolution. The only limits are the ones we place on ourselves. For one conclusion will lead to another. This is the symbolism of the octave, which means that the end of any particular creative series is but the beginning of a new creative series. There is in each one of us the will to live, to enjoy, to express, to unfold. This is divine, and our will is in partnership with this divine will, and our mind with this divine mind. Thus, we expect and believe that all good shall come to us. As we transfer the load, a new meaning comes into life, a more spontaneous self-expression. Sadness gives place to joy, and confusion surrenders itself to peace. Action, robbed of friction, moves without fatigue, and the endless drama of life presents us with inspiring scenes and ever-moving experiences. This is the new heaven and the new earth. And when that final transcendence shall take place from this world into the next, we shall exclaim, "Into thy hands I commend my spirit." All right, then. Tomorrow, we're going to take up, what do we mean by the silence? I don't know. I was a little weird about lifting the load. setting aside the burden of personal responsibility, but he said we may pursue our own way. Anytime people try and shift the burden, but I guess maybe that's it. We are shifting the burden of thinking that we have to do it ourselves is what we're doing here. We still do the work. We're not getting out of doing the work. Which is why I glommed onto that line where it said, and we pursue our part. We pursue our part. We're just not doing this alone. And that is the burden that we are lifting. We don't have to have all the answers because we know something that does. And we can turn to that and it will provide the answers. And it can provide the answers in a wide range of unusual ways. And when the one of the points of treatment and meditation is to open ourselves up to that wide range of possibilities. All right, that is the lesson for today. I'm going to move on into the process of my day. I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a take care of business day, a you got this day, a do what you got to do day, a let's wrap this week up day, a cuddle your fur babies day, a tell somebody you love them day, a dance in the rain if you get it day, but stay out of the thunder and lightning if you get that day, a be aware of the heat day, a please drink plenty of water. It still could get up into the high 90s, what feels like it's into the hundreds today where I live. Please drink your water. Be aware of the heat. But prepare for the Labor Day weekend day. I don't know what that means. Go buy the groceries that you need for the week, for the 3-day weekend if you get to have one. I do. Not so much my partner, but yeah. So, do something amazing for yourself, whatever that looks like. Good music, read a book. I get to start a new book today, so I'm kind of excited about that day. A good day, and if that is too much pressure, because it can be occasionally, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. Your beloved expression of the divine, spirit in motion, God in action, a beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time, at your own pace. And as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godly. So, brilliant light, divine spark, godly. Explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be, because the divine knows you to be good. And from there, anything is possible. All right, beloveds, I got to wrap this up and go. I'm going to remind you, Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9-ish tomorrow. I am going to go to the park. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.